Caprini Creamery. We're a farmstead goat operation operated by my husband and I and our daughter, who's in college now. We're going to celebrate our 6th-year anniversary this summer as a state licensed dairy. This past year we have kind of officially transitioned to a year-round dairy. We've started working with distributors that distribute our cheese to restaurants in the Indianapolis area, and it's hard for them to go without it for a few months, so we decided to make the transition to a year-round dairy. We started out with some pet goats. Many years ago we started with 2 Nigerian dwarf goats, and I've always enjoyed goats and animals, and we wanted to think about something that would be more than just a hobby farm, and we thought that making goat cheese would be a way to expand the goat herd and have a use for the milk, and hopefully make a profit in the future so that this can be a full-time business for our family. So when we started thinking about having this as an operation for a business, we realized that the Nigerians wouldn't be able to provide sufficient quantities of milk because they are a dwarf breed. So we started looking at a standard size breed, and we chose the Oberhausley because even though they're not the largest breed of standard goats, they're a good size, they make a nice amount of milk, and they're a very docile personality, and we wanted to make sure that they would get along well with the Nigerian dwarf goats. And they do, they get along really well.
Currently we're housing and growing 400 goats. 200 of them are kids that were born just this year. Every morning and every evening, first things we do, we enter the barn, check on the health of the animals, and immediately check water buckets. We feed just a little bit of grain in some of the pens that need the grain, and then everybody gets their hay in the morning. Before we get dirty at all, we prep the milker in the dairy so that the milking parlor is prepped and ready to go. As soon as we get the chores done in the barn, we head immediately up to the milking parlor, and by fall we'll be milking 75 to 80 goats twice a day. At 5 in the morning and 5 at night, we spend 2 to 3 hours in the milking parlor milking our goats.
And we focus on fresh cheeses. So we predominantly make Chev, which is what most people think of when they think of goat cheese, which is a soft, spreadable cheese. We also make Feta, and that's a little firmer, saltier cheese. It comes from the Mediterranean region. We'll start here pretty soon to make up our bloomy rind cheeses, which are small cheeses that are covered with a white mold on the surface, similar to a brie or a camembert. And then in the fall and the winter, I do make a few aged cheeses. So my background is in biology. So my undergraduate is in medical technology, and then I have a PhD in immunology and had some training in microbiology as well. So I've always been fascinated with science, and so it was just kind of the biochemistry and the biology of taking milk and converting it to so many different kinds of cheese that I was really fascinated with. And that's what led me to think that the cheese making would be something that I would be interested in. So Farm Bureau contacted me maybe 4 or 5 years ago. There was an opening on the Animal Policy Advisory Committee that deals with issues about animal welfare and farm animals. And so I started working with Greg on that committee, reviewing different policies. And then a couple years after that, I was contacted to serve on the Food Safety Advisory Committee at the national level. And so I've served on that committee for 3 years, and we've spent a lot of time talking about the new food safety regulations that are going to be rolled out here, abbreviated FSMA, and how that's going to impact different farms and farming operations. I'm Kristy Kikly with Caprini Creamery, and I found my voice with Indiana Farm Bureau.